Hey, today we'll be talking about how can we lead a peaceful life? How can we make this mind a good mind, a peaceful place where to live in? We have a lot of things happening in this small brain. We have a lot of activities, we have a lot of worries every time. We keep worrying about this and that, and this might happen, this might not happen, this we keep worrying a lot. So if we want a peaceful life, we want a successful life, we have to do one thing, that is stop worrying about the past and about the future. So what you need to do to have a peaceful mind, have a great mind and have a creative mind is you have to stop worrying for the past, stop worrying for the future and focus on today. And I would say not even today but focus on now, right now at the moment. If you focus on today, the moment, your job is mostly done. Your mind can become highly creative, highly productive and highly efficient if you just keep that worry out from the system. You can become very successful and you will see the difference it makes if you are not worrying for one entire day. But how do we do that? We struggle with it every single day of our life. We are worrying for something that happened in the past, or we are worried of something that might happen in the future, but we are never ever able to figure out how do we keep this worry out from the system. I myself was always very extremely worried. Worried of what? I would say two types of worries that I always had. One was actual worries and the other one was fictional worry. What is an actual worry and what is a fictional worry? So the actual worry is something that is actually haunting us. There is a problem that is there in front of us and I'm worried about it. And there is this fictional worry, that is that I do not have a problem but I'm still worried. So I was most of the times facing this fictional worry problem, that I do not have any problem but I'm still worried about something. Something is troubling me, something is giving me problems and I am worried. I am not sure what exactly is the problem, but I am worried because why? Because I am used to being worried. Because I have always been worried and I will always be worried in the future. So do not be into a fictional worry and do not also be in this actual worry wala situation. How can you keep this worry aside? How can you keep this worry, actual worry outside of your system? And how can you keep this fictional worry outside of your system? We'll talk on both. So let us start with the actual worry. How do we keep this actual worry out of our system? So to keep this actual worry, that is genuinely a problem in our life and I'm worried about that. So let us first learn how do we keep that out. So first is we try to know what the worry is all about. So what the problem is, we identify the problem in our writing. So we take a notepad and we note down what is my problem. So I note down what my problem is. Once I have written down my problem, the second step what I do is, what is the worst thing that can happen because of this problem to me? I can go bankrupt, I can die, this can happen or that can happen. I write down what worst can happen with me if that problem does not work out or the things do not work out in my favor. What worst can happen? So first I identify the problem. Second is I figure out what the worst could happen because of the problem that I have. Now when I have figured out the worst, so number third is I find out what I can do about it. What are the things that I can do to take care of the problems and what I can do today. And how can I make sure that things do not go that bad. I just start taking action. So the next step would be to start taking action. Once I have identified the problem, once I have identified what worse can happen with me, then I identify what I can do about it. The fourth would be to start taking action. I start taking a lot of action based on what I have identified in the past. I start taking action today about it. If at all there is something that I can do today, I start doing that. If there is something that I cannot do anything today because that problem is supposed to come up in a month or in 2 months or in 3 months or 6 months or after a year, I will then leave it. because I have identified the problem, I have identified what could happen, and I have also understood that there is nothing that I can do today about it. So if there is let's say I am into some criminal case and there is a hearing that is going to happen in the next week and I cannot do anything about it today, so I leave it on to the next week. I do not need to take any action, I do not need to get worried about it because I have already identified what could happen with me. Now my worry is not going to make anything better. So what I do is I leave it for the next week. So number 1, identify the problem. Number 2, the worst thing that can happen with you. Identify what you can do about the problem. And number 4, start taking action. If you can do anything today, do it. If you cannot do anything, then your action would be to not do anything. Your action would be to stop worrying and stop thinking about that problem because you cannot do anything about it today. So this is about the actual worry that we have. And what do we do about the fictional worry that we have? What do we do about no problem? What do we do when we have no problem but we are worried? What do we do about such a situation? So for such a situation, it is very easy, and the solution would be to keep yourself busy. Always keep yourself extremely busy with anything and everything. Do not give yourself any any white space. Do not give yourself free time, because the moment you get free time, you will be worried. You will start getting worried about something or the other. You will build up problems. You do not have a problem, you will build up problems because you love being into that worry zone. You always want to get worried. So keep yourself very busy, very occupied. Do not have a free time, and you will find that fictional worry is no more there. Actual worry you have already taken care of, and your present has become happy. You are smiling. You have taken care of all the problems in your head. You have sorted out the problems, and you are living a wonderful and a happy and a pleasant life. If that is what you have always wanted for yourself, then this is the solution to it. And if you have any question or any comments on whatever I said about worry, how to keep the worry aside you, and if you have other worries that you cannot utilize the solutions that I just gave, then ask me in the comments below and I will help you with your worries. If needed, we can talk in private, we can talk personally, and we will help you figuring out how you can keep that particular worry outside your brain so that you can focus on what is important today. So you can focus on what is there today on your plate in place of getting worried about what would happen a day after or a month after or a year after. I hope I have been able to answer some of your questions on worries, and we meet again in the future to talk about different topics that you suggest me. Until then, have a great day. Thank you.